Hello friends, and welcome to my video. As requested, this video will serve as a tutorial on how to make the escalator beanie. For this pattern I'm using Caron cakes, Caron blossom cakes, and this is the color crocus. I'm using two different hook sizes. For the ribbing we're using 4.5, and for the body and the top of the hat we're using 5.5mm crochet hook. If you to start the pattern, please create the ribbing. There's a video posted on my page on how to create the ribbing, how to work on the ribbing, and then this tutorial will focus on the body of the hat. I hope that you'll enjoy it. Okay, since we're starting this beanie from the bottom up, the first step is to create ribbing. If you need help with creating ribbing, feel free to check out my tutorial on how to do it. And for this hat, we're starting with double crochet stitches. So the entire round will be double crochet stitches. And we are, so you see the ribs here. Each of these ribs has 2 rows. So we are putting double crochet stitch into each row, okay? And the key element here is that we need the number of double crochet stitches to be divisible by 5, because we are using a pattern 3 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets, so that's 5 together. So we need the number of double crochet stitches to be divisible by 5. That way, regardless of where you turn your beanie, the pattern is the same. Where you see the seam, we want that pattern to continue without any lapse. So since my ribbing has 39 of these ribs, that means we have 78 rows. So that means in order for that number of double crochet stitches to be divisible by 5, I need to add 2 more double crochets, and we're going to spread those increases. I'm going to put this here, one, and the other one on the other side, so that the stitches are nicely distributed. Okay, we're starting each of the rounds for this beanie with a chain 2. Since we're working with double crochet stitches, we do chain 2 in the beginning, and this chain 2 is not counted as a stitch. So again, we're going to be putting double crochet stitch into each row. So you need to pick a position inside each of the row so that the stitches are evenly distributed. What I like to do is I go straight in the middle of this, post right there, and then, so you see it would be mostly evenly distributed if you go right here. However, I prefer to go through 2 loops at least, because if you do double crochet through this one, you're creating a big hole or gap, and we don't want that. So instead, I prefer to go through right here, so I'm going through right here, so that way I have more than 1 loop, and that way we don't create the gaps. So each of these ribs, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going in the middle. This one is an easy one. And then the second one, we are not going to do it here because it's only one loop and it's going to create a hole or a gap. I'm going right here under this one. So I'm turning it so you guys can see. That way we have more than one loop on the top, more structured stitch, and there is no gap. Okay, and you see they're evenly distributed. So here's one more. So if you need to add more than 2 stitches, more than 2 double crochet, so more than 2 increases, I just make sure that they're evenly distributed. Okay, the number of stitches at the end of the round should be again divisible by 5. Oh, not here. Not here, because we want again even distribution. It's hard to look through the right here. So you see, we don't go 2 stitches in the same space. It's hard to look through the camera, phone camera, but it is okay. Okay, and you keep going, and in the spots where we need to increase, right? So I'm going to be making 2 increases so that my number of stitches is so 39, 78, so it's total 80. So this is how you would do increase. You do the increases are just 2 double crochets into the same spot. Okay, so you just do into the same spot, and you will do that once, twice, 3 or 4 times, depending on the number of stitches in your round. So this way, this would be a fix for that 1 stitch that I'm missing. So I'm missing 1 more, and I'm going to do it somewhere else. But this is the increase. So keep going. Make sure the number of double crochet stitches is divisible by 5, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Okay, we're at the end of the round 1, and there's something that I would like to emphasize here. So the number of stitches, double crochet stitches that I have right now is 80. As you can tell, they're pretty evenly distributed. Each of these ribs has 2 double crochets. Okay, so at the end of the round, you want to make sure that when you see in the beginning that these 2 appear to be as if it's the same rib. Okay, because you see this one right here, it has this double crochet and this double crochet, so that's 1 rib. So make sure not to add any additional stitches, because if you add, sometimes you might be tempted to add another double crochet inside this gap. That's basically the seam. So don't do that, because if you do that, you're creating extra space and your seam is not going to be as crisp. It's not going to look as crisp. So again, I'm just going to close that. We're not adding any more. We're not adding any more double crochets. Okay, so I'm going to seam it, put a slip stitch right here, and then we're starting round 2. Okay, so round 2, we do chain 2. Okay, we're not counting that chain 2, and now we're starting our pattern. So this way our seam is looking pretty good. Okay, do not add any additional double crochet stitches inside that seam. Okay, so round one, we're starting with our pattern. Our pattern is going to be 3 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets. So to do front post double crochet, we yarn over, we go under that first post, you see, we pull through. Now we have 3 loops on our hook, and we just finish double crochet. So let's do that again. Yarn over, we go under that post. So one thing that I would like to advise is make sure that your yarn is not staying on the top, but it's following the hook, right? You see how it needs to come on top of that post. Just a little tip. To make sure that that happens, I don't go anywhere close to the top with my hook. I actually go closer to the bottom or the middle. That way that yarn is not staying on the top of these loops on the top. Okay, so these are 3 front post double crochets, and now we do 2 back post double crochets. The same thing, just from different angle. Yarn over, so instead of going in the front, you go in the back, and you are now reaching under that. Okay, so for the back post, I'm reaching, oops, sorry. So that way the post is behind the hook. You pull the loop, now you have 3 loops on the hook. You pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's the first back post double crochet, and we do that one more time. So we go from the back. So it might be easier for the beginners to look in the back, but also it might be easier just to stay like this. Pull up the loop. We have 3 loops on the hook. Pull through 2, pull through 2. So this is going to be our pattern for the entire round. Okay, so we're going again, front post, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going 2 back posts. And easy to remember is front post, that just means your hook is going from the front under the post. Back post is you're going with your hook behind your work. Okay? Okay, so this is where we are right now. This is the beginning. So I will meet you at the end of the round. Okay guys, we're at the end of this round, and we finished this round with 2 back post double crochets here. So the way to check if you are doing correct stitch count is the pattern needs to flow even on the seam, correct? So our pattern is 3 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets. So regardless of where you look, you're gonna see that same pattern, right? So if we started with 3 front post double crochets, we're gonna end the row with 2 back post double crochets. Okay, so now let's discuss the movement, the illusion of movement, and how do we use these stitches to create that illusion. So right here, I developed a couple of graphs for you guys. So let's call the first row the foundation row, which is why I assigned 0 to that row. So this is all double crochet stitches. Okay, and now we just completed this first row, right? And now how do we create this illusion of movement? It's very simple. It's very, very simple. All that we need to do is we need to move our pattern to the right by 1 stitch in each row. So what does that mean? That means that if we had 3 stitches front post double crochet, if we started the row with 3 front post double crochet stitches, the next row is going to have 2 front post double crochets, and then this stitch right here is going to move to the right. So each of these stitches is moving to the right by 1, right? But the pattern is staying the same. We're just shifting to the right by 1 stitch, because you see these 3 front post double crochets are right here. This column right here, that's only chain 2, so we don't count that. But if we ignore that, you see our pattern is moving to the right every single time by 1 stitch. And the only important thing is you don't have to count these to observe throughout the entire round. You just need to focus on the beginning of the round, okay? So what does that mean? That means that we're just going to move this stitch here. So we're doing now front post double crochet, we're moving this stitch here. We're moving this stitch here. So we go through the back. And from this point, so as soon as you see this first transition from front post to back post, or back post to front post, you don't have to count anymore. You know what your pattern is. So we always do 2 back post double crochets and then 3 front post double crochets. I'm looking through the camera to make sure the video is showing what I'm saying. Three front post double crochets, okay, so you finish each round with, of course, slip stitch and chain 2, right? We got that part. And now we shifted each of these stitches to the right by 1 stitch. Again, just pay attention to the beginning of the round and continue with our 3 front post, 2 back post pattern throughout the round. And so then when you get to the end of the round, again, if you started with 2 front post double crochets, that round is going to end with just 1 front post double crochet, because that's going to be a complete pattern, right? The pattern is flowing throughout. Then you slip stitch, you chain 2, and then you move again, you continue moving the stitches to the right by 1. So you're going to have in the next round, you will start the round with 1 front post, 2 back post, then 3 front post, and so on, right? So if you look at this right here, this is going to be 5-row repeat. 5-row repeat. If it's easier for you just to track the graph, it tells you, okay, so if you started this round with 3, next round is going to be with 2 front post double crochet stitches, the next one is going to be 1, then we shift with 2. So that's what I'm talking about when we say movement to the right by 1 stitch. I also included here, in case that you want escalator to move to the left, I also included here in case that you want to create static pattern. I would do, this is going to be 2 front post, 2 back post double crochets. You repeat that 2 rounds, then you switch, then you switch. So you see, this is going to be static, just in case that's what you prefer, or movement to the right or to the left by shifting your pattern to the right by 1 stitch or to the left by 1 stitch. So you keep going as long as you need to get the height of the beanie. So please continue. I hope this is clear. Let me know if we need to clarify more, but I will continue working on my beanie, and I will meet you when I reach the point where we need to start with decreases. Hello friends, so this is where we are. We're ready to start with decreases using Caron Blossom Cakes. I did 15 rows so that the body of the beanie is exactly 5 inches. The easiest way to count your rows is by counting these steps on our escalator. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. So I have 15 steps, 15 rows. Looking at our pattern right here, we're not counting double crochet row. So we have 15 of these rows, which is the repeat of 5. So we have 15, so that means we did 3 repeats of 5. Once you get to the 5th row, you repeat the row number 1, and so forth. So we have 15 rows all together. And now we're ready to decrease. Okay friends, here is another chart that I developed to help you understand how decreases work on this beanie. So let's explain. So as you know, the middle column right here is the chain 2 column. Here I'm just putting the number of rows. So when you see here 5, that refers to the 5th round of those 5-row repeats from the previous charts, right? So the first round of decrease we're calling round 1, right? So yellows, wherever you see yellows, that's where decreases are, right? So row 1 we have decrease, row 3 we have decrease, row 5, 7, 8, and 9, okay? And then as for the stitches, the yellow numbers mean that's where we have decreases, and then the yellow fields right here, the yellow numbers mean this is where you do the decrease, right? So in the last round of our body, of our beanie body, we finished with 3 front post double crochets and 1 back post double crochet, right? So now when we look here, right, we want to continue that diagonal movement all the way up to round 7. So round 7, 8, and 9 are all front post double crochets. So the first round, the decrease is going to happen above the last, which is the 3rd front post double crochet, and the first, and that, sorry, this is looking from the middle. This is the last front post double crochet and that first back post double crochet, right? So we're doing back post double crochet 2 stitches, 2 together. That's how we do the decrease here, right? Right here, these are front post, so we're doing 2 front post double crochet stitches together, right? So we are doing decreases in round 1, round 3, 5, and 7, 8, and 9. On the right side, we have whether we have the number of rows, we have whether the row has an increase or not, and we have the pattern for that round. So 3 front post double crochet, 1 back post double crochet. This means that we're taking one of these back post double crochets out, okay? So here we have 2 front post double crochet, 1 back post double crochet, so we're taking one of these front post double crochets out. Here we're taking another one of those front post double crochets out, and then here we only have front post double crochets. On the right side we have the stitch count for each of those rows or each of those rounds, and then we have decreased the number of stitches that we are decreasing in those decrease rows. And then I'm just showing here that we are creating, by using these decreases, we're creating a slope. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to do here. And I will include the picture of this at the end of the tutorial, along with the picture of this chart. So I hope this will be useful. The first round of decrease, looking at our pattern, we're going to reduce our pattern from 5 to 4 stitches. So we're taking out every 5th, right? So we are first going to take one of these back post double crochets. So our pattern is going to become 3 front post double crochets and then 1 back post double crochet. We need to make sure that we still have the escalator, moving escalator effect. So we will continue with moving our stitches to the right by 1 stitch. And how do we do that? That means that since we ended our previous row, we started the previous row with 1 back post double crochet. We're going to move the second to the first for this round. So we're starting with front post. So we're going to do 3 front post double crochets. And now we're going to start our decrease where we're going to do 2 back posts double crochet together. How do we do that? We reach out from the back, that's why it's called back post. We pull through 2 loops, so we're not finishing it now. Now we yarn over again, we reach again from the back. Now we have 4 loops on the hook. We pull through 2, and now we pull through 3. Okay? We go back. We're working now on those 3 front post double crochets. So this round, our pattern is 3 front post double crochets. And then we're gonna do again 2 back post double crochets, stitches together. You pull through 2, reach from the back. Now we have 4 loops on the hook. We pull through 2. And now we pull through all 3. This way, instead of 10, we have 8 stitches. Instead of 5, we have 4 stitch pattern. So keep doing this until the end of the round. Okay, we are at the end of the first row decrease. And since I started with 80 stitches, by taking out every 5th stitch, we reduced the number of stitches from 80 to 64. So we took out every 5th, so we reduced it by the count by 16. So now we have 64 stitches. So what are we doing next, right? So this might be personal preference, but guys, if we keep taking out stitches every single round, we get almost no slope here, right? So the top of the hat is almost flat. If that's your preference, just start taking out stitches every single round. For me, I prefer more gentle slope. So that means that after every decrease, I'm gonna do 1 row without decrease. So we are going to continue with the movement to the right. So this round, I'm not doing decrease. So we did slip stitch, chain 2. So we're moving this second stitch from the previous row here. So this round, we're gonna have 2 front post double crochets in the beginning, and then only 1 back post, okay? And now, since our pattern is now, with that 1 decrease, it's 3 front post double crochets, 1 back post double crochet. That's what we're doing for the rest of the row. So we're doing 3 front post double crochets, and then 1 back post double crochet. And that way we're again continuing with that visual effect of movement to the right. One, 2, 3, and then 1 back post double crochet. Okay, continue, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Okay, we're at the end of the round, as this is chain 2. So we ended this round with 1 front post double crochet. If we ignore that's chain 2 right there, we have the 3 front post double crochet and 1 back post double crochet, and that's happening throughout the round. So now what we need to do is take every 4th stitch out, and in this round, since I want to keep that escalator effect going, I'm going to remove the first one of these 3, right? And I'm going to remove the first front post double crochet. So how do we do that? So that way, this round is going to be 2 front post double crochets, 1 back post double crochet. But again, we need to keep that movement going. So for the first stitch, we're moving the 2nd stitch here. So we have 1 front post double crochet. Now we're going in the post, and now we're going to take this first stitch out, but this is how we're going to do it, guys. So we have 1 front post, 1 back post. So we are going to do 2 front post double crochets together. So what does that mean? We're merging these 2 stitches into one and keeping the movement of the escalator going, right? So again, this round is going to be 2 front post double crochets and 1 back post double crochet. So we're doing the back post double crochet, and again, we are now going to reduce or decrease the number of stitches from 2 to 1. How do we do that? We do 2 front post double crochets together. So we go from the front, we have 3 loops together, we pull through 2, we go into it. Front post again. Now we have 4 loops on the hook. We pull through 2, and now we pull through all 3. That way we still have the visual effect of escalator, but we reduce the number of stitches by 1. Right? So the pattern this round is going to be 2 front post double crochets, 1 back post double crochet. So we have 2. We're going from the back, and now again, now we're working the front post double crochet, and we're merging these 2 stitches together. So what we're doing is we're doing 2 front post double crochets together. Okay. So this way, we still have that visual effect of escalators, moving escalators, but we're also reducing the number of stitches. So we're taking out every 4th. So continue working on this, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. We're at the end of the round, and I want to show you how to finish this round. So we started the round with 1 front post double crochet. The pattern for this round was 2 front post double crochets, so this is now becoming one front post. So that's why we're counting as one front post double crochet. So we have two front post double crochet, one back post double crochet pattern that we were following in this round. So that means that we have one back post double crochet, and we need to do the reduction. We need to decrease because we did not do decrease on these right here. We're doing it at the end. So you remember how this is connecting to this beginning chain, beginning stitch to create that pattern. So now we need to do the decrease, and we're doing again 2 front post double crochet stitches together to close this round. Okay, and now since we want this slope to be gradual, we're going to just repeat this round. We're just going to do a round without decreases while keeping that escalator movement going. So this is how that looks, guys. So we're starting the round with a slip stitch, chain 2, and now we're just repeating the pattern from the previous round, which was 2 front post, 1 back post double crochet with the movement. So that means that the second stitch from the previous row is becoming the first stitch in this round. So we are going in the back, from the back, and doing back post double crochet. And now we are repeating that 2 front post Now, this is where we need to be careful. This is now 1 stitch, you see? So that's 1 stitch. So now we have 1 back, 2 front. And we're repeating that again to keep that escalator effect moving as long as we can. And now we are doing 2 front posts. Again, this is 1 stitch, you see? It was 2 stitches before, now it's only 1. So you go with your hook under both of those. And now going in the back. So continue working on this round until the end, and then we will work on the next decrease. Okay, so we finished the round with 2 front post double crochets. We didn't do any decreases here, but now we are at row 5 and we're going to continue the decrease, but also we're going to continue that movement as long as we can. So that means this is going to be the front post double crochet. However, the decrease in this round is going to be, we're going to merge 2 front post double crochets into 1. Okay, so the pattern is going to be 1 front post, 1 back post. Again, we are reducing the number of stitches in this round by 16. So at the end of this round, we're going to have 32 stitches. So let's start. So we're starting this round, round 5, with 2 front post double crochet stitches together. So we're starting with a decrease. How do we do that decrease? 2 front post double crochets together. We go from the front under that post. We have 3 loops on the hook. We pull through 2, yarn over again, under that post. We pull through 2 loops, and now we pull through 3 loops. And now, so what is the pattern? So this is counted as 1 stitch, right? We're ignoring chain 2. We have this 1 decrease that's counted as 1 front post double crochet stitch. We're going in from the back and doing back post double crochet stitch, and again front post double crochet stitch, decrease, pull through 2, yarn over again. From the front, we're going under that front post, under that post, we're going to pull through 2 again, and now pulling through 3 from the back. So the pattern for this round is front post double crochet, back post double crochet, given that we're doing decrease on the front post. Okay, at the end of this round we're gonna have again 32 stitches. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end of the next round, because the next round is again the round that we don't do any decreases. Okay, this is chain 2. So the next round you're going to start with back post double crochet, then front post double crochet, back post, front post, back post, front post, right? So I'm going to meet you after the round 6. And how are you going to do this front post? So we're going to have chain 2 right here. We're going to do back post by going from the back over both of these loops. Pull your yarn, right? So this is now 1 stitch in the next round. So I will meet you at the end of the round 6. At the end of round 6 you should still have 32 stitches. See you soon. Okay guys, we're at the end of the round 6, right? So round 5 we did the decrease, and the round 6 we just kept the same number of stitches with still continuing that dynamic movement. So this is how it's looking right now. We have 32 stitches, and now it's we're starting round 7, and for the round 7 I'm going to decrease. We're doing decrease on the first 2 stitches, and then we're not doing decrease on the next. Then we're doing decrease on the 2 stitches, and then we're not doing decrease, right? So, and this round, this is where we're switching to all front post double crochets, right? So we're doing 2 front post double crochet stitches together, and now we're just doing a regular front post double crochet. So if we were to do more drastic decrease, the top of the hat would basically be almost flat, right? So that's why I'm decreasing every other stitch. So decrease, regular stitch, decrease, regular stitch, because we want still to keep that slope, not as drastic but more gradual, right? And if you were to do decreases in every stitch, the yarn would look really stretchy, right? It would get really stretched out. So it's better to do it slowly and gradually. So again, 2 front post double crochet stitches together, and then just a regular front post double crochet. Continue, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Okay guys, we're at the end of the round 7. That was the round of decrease, and we also switched to just doing front post double crochets. At the end of this round, I have 21 stitches left. We're gonna continue decrease again. Again, I'm gonna do the 2 front post double crochets together. So we're doing decrease now, and then we're doing just a regular front post double crochet. We're continuing with that slow decrease, gradual decrease, creating that beautiful slope for the top of the hat. Please continue, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay guys, we're at the end of the round 8. We achieved that beautiful gentle slope, and now what we want to do is finish our beanie. So this round number 9, we're doing decrease in every single round, in every single stitch. So at the end of the round 8, we had 14 stitches. At the end of this round, we're gonna have 7 stitches. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay friends, we're at the end of the round 9, and we're done. So we're not going to be using crochet hook anymore. We're doing this with darning needle. Oops. So as you can tell, what we're going to do here is we're just going into that front loop, front loop, front loop of all those 7 stitches. You can do it one at a time or multiple, it doesn't really matter. Whatever is convenient for you. And this is the top. So now we pull the top to close. And we go through the center. I can actually do this one as well, but not necessary. And this is the top of our head, guys. And now you flip the beanie and just secure the end. I usually go through maybe 10 stitches. And then come back. To fasten off those ends. Right, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to finish on the top either, frankly. We're just securing this end. And I'm gonna let it finish somewhere around here. I don't want the head to get undone for sure. This is perfect. And guys, this is where we are. Okay guys, here's the final reveal of the head that we just made. This mannequin is on the smaller size, and we were making a medium size, but this is how the head ended up. So yeah, you can add pom-pom if you like. I used to do a pom-pom, sometimes I do a pom-pom, sometimes I just keep it as is. I think for this one I'll just keep it as is. But I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll talk to you soon.